What's going on, champs and champettes? It's FireMonkey here, and luckily Epic Games has recently finished their winter vacation, or it's ending today, the same day as me recording this YouTube video, because they did mention it was supposed to end January 2nd, and our next Fortnite update is said to be right around the corner on January 8th. However, in today's YouTube video, I want to go ahead and talk about Fortnite OG for a little bit. I want to tell you guys some stuff going on with the map itself, the live event that's supposed to end up happening in the near future, in order to replicate the old Fortnite OG days, back when it was just Fortnite, not the OG part or whatever else, and just kind of everything in general. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start this off by talking about Christmas Day. Over on Christmas Day, we actually ended up having a special thing that actually ended up happening in Fortnite OG, where the entire map was covered in snow for one entire day. This actually was something that happened all the way back in the original Fortnite OG days, or I guess, you know, the original days of that Fortnite season, where the entire map for Christmas Day got covered in snow. However, it happened the same way. What is going on right here? Jesus, okay. But it ended up happening the same way, where once that Christmas Day actually ended, the snow went away. You know, everything just kind of went back to normal. And back then, you know, before we had a lot more leaks and stuff, a lot of people just kind of speculated it was a situation where it was just, you know, a Christmas celebration, but that would be far from the truth, because later on during that exact same season, we had the Ice King live event, which unironically was the only live event from the Fortnite OG days that I actually missed out on, because I was kind of burnt out on Fortnite at that time, and I didn't really feel like logging in to do that event or get like the little Kevin backbling or whatever else back then. So if they end up bringing that back for the Fortnite OG days, then hey, I will gladly take a V2 of that backbling I missed out on. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. We had the Ice King event where there was basically a giant version of the Ice King that showed up with a giant like hologram, or I guess you would say like ice fractal shadow, however you would really describe it, above the actual polar peak. And when that actually ended up happening, we had a very interesting event where ice fiends started taking over the island, which the fiends are basically the exact same thing as like the old cube fiends or whatever else from Horde Rush, just, you know, with an ice theme. You know, they all had like the winter like freezing ability to them or whatever else, and it ended up becoming a full-out brawl. The entire map was recovered in ice or snow or whatever you want to call it, and these fiends were a lot more common, with their spawners spawning during matches and stuff, and by eliminating those fiends and doing quests here and there, you'll be able to earn some free rewards. However, while we're in this new Fortnite OG era, we've noticed some odd things going on with this potential return event. So first things first, we don't know if it's going to be a new Ice King skin or if it's going to be the old one, and we don't actually know when it's supposed to be happening, because we just had the Christmas thing happen the exact same way it did in the old Fortnite OG days. But in the files right now, I think there are some mentions here and there regarding this whole entire Fortnite OG Ice King event happening. However, it seems to be a weird mixture. And what I mean by that is we have the leaks that it's going to be happening, right? We have news that it's supposed to be returning and everything else, but then I see some tweets out there, and I haven't been able to really investigate this myself too much, that the Ice King event that was supposed to happen this season is set to happen in Chapter 7 Season 2 instead. Now, for context, right now, Chapter 7 Season 1 is set to end March 4th, 2026, and Chapter 1 Season 7 Fortnite OG is set to end March 18th, 2026, meaning that if the Ice King event is actually set to happen in Season 2 of this current chapter for Battle Royale, then that means there's going to be like a 1 to 2 week period when the new chapter, or I guess not new chapter, but the new season for Battle Royale launches, that Epic Games would be able to do the Ice King live event. And I'm not really for sure how far apart the Ice King live event was in the original Fortnite OG days of Chapter 1 Season 7. Not for sure if it was like real close to the end of the season or not, because I kind of just forgot that timing, to be completely honest here. We've had so many seasons in this game, can you really blame me? But it does appear like it is something that is supposed to happen. However, it might have been delayed towards the very end of this current Fortnite OG season. Now, it appears that it's supposed to be working the same way, you know, the same way you remember it. However, there might be slight alterations here and there. Maybe they go ahead and change the skin to be a more modern, you know, Ice King skin they can sell in the item shop. Maybe they go ahead and do something else entirely. Who really knows? I don't really know if they're going to be bringing back a one-to-one of everything from the old Fortnite OG days, because, for example, I don't think we're going to be seeing the prisoner returning anytime soon or anything like that. Or maybe he will, who knows? But at the very least, it does appear like the Ice Ice King event is supposed to be happening during this Fortnite OG season, and it does appear like Epic Games still wants to have more of that authentic feel for Fortnite OG, even across the event feel. We made a previous video talking about how the lighting is going to be returning to Fortnite OG, you know, a kind of inspired version of the old lighting, I guess you would say. It wouldn't be a one-to-one, but it would be, you know, pretty accurate to how it was back then. So I think maybe the reason why they could have potentially delayed the Ice King event, if it has been properly delayed, is because they want to go ahead and focus on some of those more important things to them first, such as that lighting, before they go ahead and decide, here's another live event that you'll be able to go to. And I mean, honestly, with how much stuff goes on in Fortnite nowadays, it's live event after live event after live event after live event, and, you know, new update after new season after new season after new chapter. So they're definitely, you know, spreading themselves thin, as I do believe, when it comes to all these different things that Epic Games is working on over time. With that said, however, let me know in the comments down below, are you excited for the Ice King event in Fortnite OG to actually return? Do you think it's going to be a one-to-one, or do you think it's going to be similar to like the Red Kevin the Cube event, or Revan, or whatever you guys call it now, where it's going to be the same thing but slightly altered here and there in order to kind of have a more mysterious factor to it, potentially maybe even relating certain things to the current Battle Royale island? Without further ado, however, like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, and I'll catch you guys next time with another upload. So until then, peace out.